He's like covering up as I'm hitting him. He's like, someone help me, someone help me.
Oh
like screaming for help. He just tried to kill me. He literally just tried to murder me with a box cutter. I never imagined that I was going to become an MMA fighter. I never did any type of striking. Not really any karate. I think I took a few taekwondo classes with my brother back in the day, but it wasn't like this is what I'm going to do. Like I have no idea how I ended up where I'm at now, like as a martial arts instructor.
Right.
The hell?
Who would have thought, right?
No, I would have never thought. I was literally like a mechanic, and I just I did win a lot of bar fights.
That's what I was gonna allude to. Like, okay.
I mean,
so when did you know that you were gonna like become a fighter? Because
so
that's generally what happens.
It started because I was a good wrestler. It really did. If I would have never wrestled in high school, I would have never became a fighter. So it started because I was a good wrestler, and in the military, everyone drinks.
Right.
Everyone's gonna go out and drink it on the weekends. Like, I don't know, very few people didn't drink in the military. You know, it's like more of like a family type of thing. Everyone did it, so you did it. Got in a few bar fights. Like I won them all just because I was athletic. I was a wrestler. And then when I got out, I got into construction. I was living with this guy who was a jiu-jitsu guy. And he told me, he was like, you know, you could just sign up and do an MMA fight, right? And in my head, I'm like, I've won every fight I've ever done. Every person I've ever fought in my life, which is like just a few bar fights, you know, handful of bar fights, nothing crazy. But you know, I was young, full of testosterone. In my mind, I'm like, I'm a badass. I know better now. I know better now,
think
though.
That
you
way
know,
when
when
you're young,
I was,
dumb, and
I was
full
23 years old. It's like, I know better now. But so my roommate's like, yeah, you know, you could sign up and do an MMA fight. And he's like, I've been thinking about doing it. He's like a blue belt. Like he's pretty good. It's a little bit smaller than me. He's pretty good. He's a blue belt. He's been doing this for years. You know, like he has jiu-jitsu experience. Not me. So I tell him, I was like, let's just do it. Let's just sign up right now. Without ever at this point in my life, I had never stepped foot in a jiu-jitsu gym or an MMA gym. So I go, Jerry, let's do it. I'll sign up. We'll do it together. You know, we're roommates, like one of my best friends at the time. And he I don't know if we were drunk, but he's like, yeah, let's do it. Let's do this, like together for our friendship, like that type of thing. And then
was he Brazilian or just some guy?
Some guy. So then I go, like the next day, I go and like sign up for a fight. Like I emailed, it was for the FCFF, Full Contact Fight Federation, and they gave me a fight right away. I was like, oh shit. And then it kind of sunk in. I was like, oh shit, I should probably start training. So then I hit up my boy Jerry, and I was like, yo, I signed up for a fight. And Jerry's like, I'm not doing it. Like, bro, he's like, I'm not doing it. And I'm like kind of the type of person, if I say I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do it.
Right.
And just if I would have like texted Jerry or called Jerry and be like, let's sign up together, and he said no, I probably wouldn't have done it. But I just like, in my mind, we had already talked about this. We already decided. We agreed that we're doing this. It was like a month and a half, 2 months away or something like that. I was like,
this was the amateurs, right?
Amateur fight, yeah,
okay,
my first.
Yeah.
I had never fought before.
Yeah.
So then I just like Googled MMA gym, or I think Jerry told me about. No, my boy Jerry told me about this gym. He's like, join this gym. It's close to our apartment. I live MMA. I joined this gym, trained almost every day before this fight. Weird thing too, when I first went into the gym, I started training there. I told the owner that I had a fight scheduled, and that I had never been in MMA. He told me no. He's like, no, we're not going to corner you for this fight. You can't do that. Like they want to control you.
Right.
Like which most coaches want to be like, let you know when you can and cannot fight.
Yeah.
But by the end of like a month and a half of training or so, he's like, I was tooling people in there because my wrestling was so high level.
Yep.
I was just tooling a lot of the jiu-jitsu guys in there. So after the end of like the month and a half of training, he was like, all right, let's do this. So then I went and had my first fight. That was the most nervous I've ever been in my life. Walking into an MMA fight, that was scary.
What was so scary about it?
I mean, I knew I was like ready, you know, like, but I'd never done nothing like this before. Like I've done wrestling tournaments in high school.
But
when I was a teenager,
punch in the face is a completely different, you know.
Let me tell you, I still get nervous to this day when I fight, but like that first fight, I was so nervous. Like I did all the warm up, everything, butterflies in my stomach the whole time. I'm like, fuck, I'm so nervous. This is crazy. What am I doing? It was a big, it wasn't a small show.
Yeah,
it was one of the biggest amateur shows in the nation. It was like at the Rumble at the Roseland Theater in Portland, Oregon. I walked in, did my whole warm up with my coaches and stuff, and I'm getting ready to walk out behind like the athletic commission official, and they're like, all right, we're gonna let you know when your fight music comes on, you're gonna walk out to the cage. And I'm like freaking, I'm like sweating, I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? I'm going out to fight someone.
What was your song? What was your song?
I don't remember. That was at the least of my worries.
That's when you know he was
I was
nervous.
panicking, bro, I was panicking. This is how nervous I was. So I'm like, let's say like out there's a stage and there's like an exit, I'm coming up the stairs, there's like an exit door right here. And there's the official like telling me, get ready to walk out. I'm like looking at this exit door and I'm like very close to just like walking out. Like, just like, I'm just gonna walk out. Fuck, what am I doing? What am I doing going out to like fight someone? And I don't know who this guy is. Like, maybe he's a black belt in karate. I don't know. Even like the guy I was supposed to fight, Jerry Duke, my first fight, listed that he's like an elite striker, knockout artist. I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? I didn't know how to box, nothing at this point. It was just jiujitsu.
Right.
I never took a boxing lesson for this fight. But thank God he wasn't like that elite. I went out there and like took him down to the ground, beat him on the ground. So I won the fight. And then like, got that first win, and then like, oh, the euphoria hit. I was like, oh, this is amazing. Champion.
Yeah.
You get that winning feeling.
Like, you want sign me up for the next one.
Bro.
I mean, that's pretty bold. Like most people, like you said, like they'll join a gym, they'll ask their coach, I want to fight. Coaches were like, no, you're not going to fight for at least 2 years. You got to be a blue belt, you got to have striking, all sorts of things.
There's like a logical, that makes sense. That makes sense. I don't know what I was thinking. Like, bro, looking back, I'm like, dude, you fucking dumbass.
No, it's like you're a Pisces. That's how it was in business,
I'm like,
you know what I mean? But I could relate to what you're saying as far as like being nervous. Is like that cotton, like for me, it's like cotton mouth.
It's crazy.
I'm like, it's not like throwing up, but it's like I feel like I gotta piss, I gotta like spit, I gotta like the nerves, you know what I mean? But then, like you said, you just get used to it.
I don't think I get used to it. It's a good way I think about it though now is like, I know it's gonna happen. So I'm not used to it. I'm like second guess myself, but I'm like, I can tell myself, like this happened last time. Just follow through with what you're gonna do regardless of the nerves.
You get hyper-focused.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, the reason I started wanting to learn how to fight was because my brother and it was like, I was maybe 9 or 10 years old. My brother was, he's 2 years younger than me. So we're walking home from Brooklyn. And then out of nowhere, like, I don't know, I just sensed like two guys following us, 2 teenagers. And like, I still remember that experience. It's just like, like.
In Brooklyn too.
Yeah, in Brooklyn at that time.
Brooklyn used to be worse too, yeah.
Downtown Brooklyn?
I don't know by first-hand experience, but.
So I can't remember the name of the area. It's like some bougie location now, but it's by Brooklyn Hospital. Anyways, it was blizzard, it was cold, my hands were cold, my cheeks were cold, and one of the guys approached us and was like, yo, hey, you got the time? And I didn't even like respond. And then fortunately, there was like a turn towards the garage, and we made that quick turn. It was like an uphill, and then they kept following us, and then one of the guys slipped, and I kind of just like giggled, and he just came up to me and just punched me in the face, So like me still being a kid, and
how
all
old's
of a
your brother?
sudden, like he was probably like
younger than you?
Yeah, young,
oh,
2 years
shit.
younger than me. So, but ever since then, the fearlessness I experienced, like. Not fearless.
That's
the
adrenaline.
Fear
I think that's called adrenaline.
No, I wouldn't say that. It was just the fear of just like not being able to protect my brother. That was really like the starting point of me just wanting to learn how to like fight. I remember going from like being an older brother to being like a really aggressive brother, because like I felt like I needed to protect myself. It took me years to like learn how to fight. Actually,
I think it takes anyone years.
Yeah.
You don't learn it just
Yeah,
It's not like a natural thing you have to
No,
learn
it's
it,
not. And you know, I did a lot of dumb shit when I was young, and I used to go to school around here. PS 142. I used to get my ass kicked there too. So, like, fortunately, I played a lot of handball and was pretty good at it. And all the Puerto Ricans used to call me Chino because I would be the only
handball player?
only Asian guy, like, you know,
I feel like that's a New York
playing
thing too.
handball.
I never played handball.
Really?
I don't know. It's
Oh,
a New
you're
York
missing
thing,
out.
right?
Yeah,
People
it's a
play
New
New
York
York.
thing, yeah.
I don't know.
But yeah, like, I got around those guys, and they kind of like took me on and kind of like learned a little bit of the street. Yeah, I mean, I had like knives pulled out on me, guns and stuff like that. So I don't know if that's like the road to go. And what really made me stop like hanging out with like moving that direction is just like 3 of my friends got slashed in the face. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm one of.
Yeah,
Am I one of them?
yeah. No.
Am I one of the 3?
No, but like
so
it just
4.
man, when that happened to you, it just reminded me of like,
4.
dude, we were like, we were just hanging out playing handball. You know, my friends are like hitting on the girls, and we just happened. They're from a different like part of like the hood, so to speak, right? And then we went to a different place to play handball. So the guys were like hitting on the girls and stuff like that, and I got
slashed his face?
one thing another. Yeah, man.
The boxer. That's. I learned this lingo after I got slashed. It's
What?
called
Boxed?
getting 150
Is that what it's called?
because 150 stitches.
That's a box cutter, right? It was
Yeah,
a box
it was a
cutter.
box cutter,
Yeah,
yeah.
that same thing would happen. The guy came up to them with a razor. One got slashed here, another on the neck, and the other guy, you know, when all this happened, they were like, "Yo, where were you? How come you didn't help out?" Blah 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 blah.
Oh,
I'm like, what the fuck do you want me to do? Like,
That's a tough situation, but I mean, obviously, if you're witnessing this happening, are you witnessing this happening?
yeah, I was right
Yeah.
there.
I mean, you gotta do something, but
Yeah, but like, yo, it happened
but
so
also
fast.
you can't like just lunge at someone that has a knife. Like you have to like.
Yeah, man. So I was like,
I don't
after that, I was like, yo, I can't. I stopped hanging out with those guys, with street guys, and I just like wanted to be like, make something of myself, so to speak, you know. And then that's when I got into like business and stuff like that, and like wanting to improve my life because at the time, like, you know, it was a struggle.
How
back
old
then.
were you?
Maybe at the time, like 17, 18.
Okay, you were like in
yeah,
high
like
school.
a
High school.
dumbass.
In
Yeah, a
high school,
dumbass. Yeah, like, you know, hanging out with the wrong kids and.
That's how I still am. I'm still like a dumbass. Because this just happened to me a year ago.
Well, I mean, you just happened to be at the wrong place at the wrong time because you weren't doing anything.
I mean, I was just drunk. It was Greg's birthday. I was just arguing with
Man, I
this.
remember
I was
this.
arguing with the
Pictures.
wrong person.
Fucking New York, man. It's pretty wild. What happened? Like,
That was exactly 1 year ago.
I know.
Greg just had his
I
birthday.
remember. It was just.
It was exactly when it came up on my memories. We'll show them to the camera.
Oh,
We'll show it to the camera so they can see. You can zoom in on this. We're just out at the
Christ,
bars
bro.
for his birthday. And it was towards like the end of the night, maybe like 3 in the morning. We were both hammered, taking shots all night. And I got into a weird argument with the wrong guy outside, like this freaking Puerto Rican dude.
Why gotta be Puerto Rican?
That's just what he was. I don't know. He was racist. That's just what he was. Which I found out after. At the time, I didn't know he was Puerto Rican, but like now I do. From people that knew who he was.
That's such a stereotype, though.
It's not. It's just what happened. These are just strictly facts. So it's not. I'm not being racist. I'm just or even stereotypical. I'm just telling you what happened. So I'm outside this bar in Lower East Side.
Fuck.
And
Lower East Side, Puerto Rican guy, box cutter.
Maybe I'm not supposed to tell this story because I think the guy is like still. I don't know if the trials have finished for this. So I'm just outside. I end up arguing with the wrong guy about something. It's a very blurry memory for me. I remember arguing with him. Like I was yelling at him and he was yelling at me. I didn't think I was even gonna fight the guy. I was just arguing with him. And then next thing I know, I got jacked. Like at first I thought it was like a punch. I thought he just got hit really hard. But he hit me with the box cutter. Slashed me open from my ear all the way to my chin. And immediately I go into like, my adrenaline hits in. As soon as I got hit, or cut, I guess, by that box cutter, that's when my memories start. Because it was the end of the night, I was getting ready to go home and pass out. So then, as soon as the adrenaline hits, I wake up, I'm like, fuck, this guy just hit me. He tried to run away, I chased him down, got him on the ground. Start elbowing him in the head. I'm bleeding all over. At this point, I realize I'm cut. You fucking cut me with something. And that pisses me off more. Like, you fucking trying to kill me now, cutting my face open. So I'm elbowing him in the head. He's on the ground though. And I remember, like, which kind of pissed me off more, he's like covering up as I'm hitting him. He's like, someone help me, someone help me.
Oh,
like screaming for help. He just tried to kill me. He literally just tried to murder me with a box cutter. Anyway, so I'm hitting him, ground and pounding him.
Yeah.
And in my head, I'm like, fuck, if I can't stop. If I give him a breath, he might pull the knife out again. I didn't know where the knife was.
Right.
I didn't know what happened to the knife. All I know is I got slashed, and now he's on the ground. I'm bleeding all over him, hitting him, elbowing him, punching him in the head. But I started getting winded, which I wasn't in like a training or not. I didn't really train much at all last year, so I was like kind of out of shape for me.
You're out of shape is someone's
whatever,
best,
but I'm still,
right?
like, anyway, so I'm hitting this guy. I start losing my breath. I'm like, crap, if I stop hitting him, I don't want to get stabbed again. What if I get stabbed in the neck this time, which it kind of was the neck.
Yeah, Jesus.
So I just like stand up, I let the guy up. But by the time I had like let him up, I started walking back towards the bar. Greg comes out and sees me. My face is hanging open. And he goes, who did that? And I was like, this guy right here. I was like,
that's how Greg sounds. Who did that?
No, his eyes lit up, dude. His eyes lit up. He goes, who? Yo, he was like, as soon as he see me, his adrenaline probably dropped. He seen me and I see his eyes light up. And I was like, crap. I was like, how bad am I hurt? Like, I couldn't see myself. And I knew I was bloody. I'm like, he's right there, blah, blah, blah. They chase him down. But they kind of corner him at the same time the cops did. So they didn't really like fight him or anything, and the cops got him. Whatever. Anyways, I ran my ass home because I didn't know how bad I was hurt. I didn't realize I just needed to go to the hospital. And because one of my arteries was severed, my facial artery, which comes off the carotid. So I was squirting, and I was covered in blood. And I ran all the way home, and I thought that I was gonna stitch it myself. Like, I was just drunk and dumb. I thought, because I've stitched my eye together before, and I've stitched like my hand together before, like small lacerations. You know, my eye got cut from getting punched.
Such a typical fighter, man.
So I stitched and I was like, all right, let me just go
put
home.
some tape on it, bro.
Bro, when I got home and I looked at this thing and I kind of like tried to push my face back together, I was like, fuck. I honestly tried to put a stitch in it. I was like, dude, before I end up finishing stitching myself, I'm gonna bleed out. So I called some friends. I'm like, anyways, a bunch of people finally showed up at my apartment, and one of Aaron's cousin or something like drove me to the VA hospital, the Veterans Hospital, which they actually ended up transferring me because the doctors at the Veterans Hospital like panicked. They didn't know what to do. They transferred me to Bellevue, which they had surgeons at Bellevue, and gave me 2 blood transfusions. I lost so much blood, and then they sewed me up. I look more handsome than I did before.
Yeah, it's character, supposedly.
Weirdly, I look more handsome than I did before this happened.
Yeah, man, that's like one of my biggest fears is like, you know, getting into like a fight with like knives because.
Yeah, no, it's my big fear now. Like, it really opened my eyes. Like, I've never trained fighting someone with a knife.
Yeah,
like, you know,
everybody has this idea that all you got to do is this, and this, you know, like, you know.
But when it comes down to it, you don't. You know
how
fast you can get cut.
You're gonna get cut.
You get cut so fast.
Yeah.
And even if your arms are cut, like,
yeah,
dude,
man, dude, you're gonna get cut. If you fight somebody with a knife,
it opened
you're
my
gonna get
eyes
cut.
to like, God forbid, if that situation ever happens again where someone has a knife that I won't.
But it wasn't a knife. It was a box cutter.
It was even that. Like, I don't want to mess with that.
No,
like, at least, hopefully now I would approach. There was no way for me to approach it because it just happened. The first thing that happened was I got cut.
He cheap shot you with a fucking box cutter.
So, but like, it kind of did open my eyes. Like, okay, if someone's got a knife, maybe I just want to de-escalate the situation.
De-escalate and just get the hell
maybe
out
we
of
just
there.
be friends. I don't want to knife fight anyone. Like,
yeah, it's not worth it.
Bro.
You know, for me, the biggest fear with knives stems from like my father. My father was from the Philippines, and when he was younger, he used to get into a lot of street fights. Typical. But they had what's called the Balisong, which is the butterfly knife. Yeah. So my father has a huge scar from like here all the way down to his belly, and apparently he almost died. And I used to, you know, when we were younger, he'd take off his shirt, and I would see that scar, and it's like freaks me out.
Yeah, it kind of freaks me out too.
So, and what's funny is that my uncle, like, I'm not gonna go into details, but let's just say it was just he got the revenge.
Oh man!
And then my uncle who did that, he just rest in peace. He just passed away. But like, that's still embedded in me, man. It's just like, man. I mean, like for me, like having got into like a lot of like street altercations as far as like growing up, and but now like after martial arts and jiu-jitsu, it's like the first thing I look at is just the hands, if they have anything.
You have to look at the hands, yeah, or see if they're reaching for something.
Yeah, even that guy that I took down last year, you know, once I got him on like in that seatbelt position, and just like I immediately went for his hands, like to see if he had a knife or anything.
Yeah,
So-
well, yeah, that was crazy too.
Yeah.
So the way I understand it is, you saw a guy, you thought he was super attractive, and you really wanted to like feel what his body felt on yours. I don't know, you go into detail. I'm not sure exactly.
No. So like literally, like for some reason.
No, he was attacking random people.
Yeah, he assaulted
Right,
6
yeah.
people, but leading up to that, I was heading to work. I was already late for an appointment. For some reason, the train that was always consistent, it was late, and I was like bugging out, you know, because like I like to be early. Guys.
In the subway?
I was in the subway.
Oh, okay.
And then on my way up, you know, I start walking and minding my own business right on Prince on Broadway. And I see 2 construction workers walking towards me, like laughing and giggling, just like, you know, 2 boys. And then out of nowhere, I see a 3rd guy.
Wait, this
walk
was on
behind.
Prince Street?
It was
For some
Prince-
reason, I imagined this on 14th Street.
No. You know, I've had my incidents there as well.
For some reason,
14th Street is like the Mecca.
The whole time I thought this was on 14th Street.
No, it's
All right,
literally
sorry,
down the
sorry.
street from
Go
from
ahead,
the gym.
go ahead. So it was on Prince Street.
Yeah, so they're walking, mind their own business,
Right.
and then one guy just literally sucker punches the smaller guy on the side of the face. But anyway, so in this situation,
Were they Asian?
No, they were not Asian. No, it wasn't AAPI.
Because there was like a thing
I know,
for a while
I know.
that a lot of Asians
Well,
were
because
being
I was
attacked.
Asian, because so they.
No, I'm not. I mean, it's probably not to say it's related, but like there was a.
There was
for
a lot
while,
of
there was a lot of like
AAPI
Asians being
hate.
attacked. Yeah.
And I don't know what that is, but.
So he attacked a construction. worker.
He attacked a construction worker, a Latino man, and then so I see this and I'm like, oh great, I gotta beat this guy up or whatever. So I take off my AirPods, put it in my pocket, I like buttoned it so I don't lose my AirPods. It's like this is how you know
wow.
you're really good at like fighting.
Nobody else in the subway was doing this.
No,
like
this
preparing
wasn't
for
the subway
war.
at that point. This is upstairs now. This is above
Okay,
ground.
you're
This is
above ground.
now.
But nobody up above ground was preparing to like, I gotta take this guy out.
Well, I didn't want to lose my AirPods.
No, I mean, I agree with you. I don't want to lose my AirPods either, but like, you're over here like Batman. God,
I'm prepared. So anyway,
let me get my utility belt set up.
He's walking
I'm taking
towards
this guy
me.
down.
He's walking towards me. I'm eyeing him the whole time,
Yeah.
but he didn't make eye contact with
Right.
me. So typical anatomy of a bully, right? Like he'll pick on the smaller guys, the helpless guy.
Right. I mean, he may have attacked someone else.
Probably, whatever. So anyway, he walks past me. He was gone, and then I go check up on this guy to see if he was okay. I'm like, yo, you all right?
Right.
He's like, no, I'm not okay. And then I was like, yo, you should call the cops, you know? And then out of nowhere, 2 guys came up and was like, yo, like that guy's like been hitting people up and down Broadway.
Telling
like,
you that
yeah.
they attacked
so it's
the
like,
other
we gotta
people
get this guy.
beforehand,
So we start walking, like looking for this guy, right? We're still on Broadway. You know, so at this point we were close to Lafayette. So the guy was on Prince Street, and I see him. And they were like, there he is. So we're all walking, you know, I'm looking at this guy, and then these 2 guys were with me. So they're looking at me, I'm looking at them. You know what I'm saying? It's like, who's gonna make the move? So I was like, fuck it.
Does he know you're like surrounding
No,
him
the
or
guy
anything?
was like walking, just like
Okay.
at this point he's by like, you know where that Uniqlo is around that area on Broadway and Prince.
There's a lot of.
Anyway, there's a lot of stores over
Clothing
there.
stores there, yeah.
It was like in front of a COVID place. Anyways, so I'm walking, so I start running after him, and then like in my mind I'm like, how do I address the situation? If I like all of this is happening as I'm running. I was like, do I confront him? If I confront him, I know it's going to be a fight. Do I just grab him? Do I do this? Do I do that? All of this, and then in my mind I'm like, okay, I got to stop this guy because this guy's gonna hurt someone. Whether it's you know, and I'm thinking about my parents and like how would I feel if my parents were like assaulted
Attacked
by
by this
like
dude, yeah.
some guy like this, and they would feel helpless. So I literally just grabbed them. And I turned into like what's called the seatbelt. You know, so I went. The seatbelt is this.
Why? Stop.
To tackle him. So he tries to fling me off.
I did not enjoy that.
he was trying to fling me off of him, which kind of helped me drag him to the ground.
Right.
And at that point, my jiu-jitsu instinct kicked in. Like I was already choking him like on the way to the ground, but I was like, oh, I can't choke him. Like I immediately just grabbed his hands.
Choke him out?
So all this in less than 30 seconds, I was able to pin him. And, you know, and then I found out that, it was funny because as I was holding him down, he's like, I didn't do anything. I'm like, what are you talking about? You just assaulted someone right in front of me. He's like, he was attacking me. I'm like, what are you talking about? You know, so it's either he was like
you seen
mentally,
you seen what happened. You seen him just like punch him in the side of the head.
I just wanted to like neutralize this guy until like the cops come. So at that point, there was like a huge crowd around me, and then people were kicking him. They started kicking him. I was like, yo, chill, stop. Like, you know.
Are you kidding me?
No, I'm not even kidding you. People were kicking him. I was like, yo, stop. I'm like, you call the cops. Man, you call the cops.
Listen, crowds of people are dangerous.
Listen,
I feel like
man,
that's how easy it is probably to incite a riot. Like, look, people were kicking this guy.
Yo,
I didn't know that.
It was wild, yeah. So the guy that he hit that I saw was there, and then the cops came, took him, and then everybody was like, yeah, thank you. And like, yo, that guy hit me. A little kid comes up to me, like, yo, he punched me. I'm like, are you kidding me? Anyway, so I picked up my phone and I pulled down my shorts and I was like, I gotta go because I was late for work.
I'm late for work, yeah. Well, you got the videos though. I seen you post the videos.
Yeah, because somebody actually videotaped it. And this wasn't my first time like experiencing this because I was like constantly getting harassed because of the AAPI. I don't know what it is with me, but like I get harassed. I have that face where people just want to punch me or something.
No, I get that. I actually understand that. Especially with that scarf. Or what is it? Handkerchief. It's I like it. It's nice. It's flamboyant.
Yeah, I mean, number one is like I worked with a lot of fashion people, so I kind of like picked up on that. Plus,
I get that.
We're in NoHo. Plus, number two is like it's like for me, I'm more of a business person than I am like a fighter. I don't. Well, first of all, I don't want to like identify myself as a business person. I don't identify as a fighter. I don't identify as any of that stuff. Like, I'm just me. You know what I mean? So, for me, I just want to present myself in a way that people will look at me and just like, okay, he's gonna cost money.
That's something. That's one marketing strategy.
I'm just kidding. Half kidding, half serious.
I don't know. Maybe it works. Maybe I should take a page out of that book.
I mean, all right. This is my issue. Okay, like look at a professional basketball player, and look at the people that are really making a lot of money. They present themselves really well. You know, they're in their custom suits and stuff like that. Not to say that like I'm at that level.
I feel like there's a lot of like billionaires that just wear like whatever.
Yeah, well, I'm not a fucking billionaire. However, I do work with people with a lot of money, and I have to present myself in a way that I should look the part. That's just my opinion. And as a fighter, if you are, this is my opinion again. If you look at like what's his name, John Jones. He dresses up really nice, before a fight.
I wouldn't know that.
Yeah, well, these are the things that matter because it's like you can't look like a fighter. In my opinion, it's all about marketing. Like you have to market yourself in a way that.
I disagree with that. I think the best marketing for an MMA fighter is talking shit.
That is
Look
true.
at Conor McGregor.
No, absolutely.
But Conor McGregor also dresses up.
Exactly.
Like,
he has a suit that says "fuck you" all over.
Yeah.
Custom-made suit.
Honestly, if you could just talk shit really well, then you will make more money in MMA.
Yeah, and how do you feel about that? How do you feel about that? Because it's like, that's like a skill set on your own.
It's kind of a skill, yeah.
It's a skill set on your own.
Some people just have, like Conor McGregor, that's just how he is. It's just like his attitude towards life. How do I do that? Let's come up with a plan right now. How am I going to do that?
Well, be the bad guy or be a good guy.
I just have to be a dick all the time.
You just have to be yourself then.
You look like shit today. You're embarrassing me. I'm embarrassed.
All right, so let's just say you and I are fighting. Okay, how would you talk shit to me? Okay, like you and I are at a press conference. All right, go ahead. So yeah, so I'll be the good guy, you be the bad guy. Okay, so I just want to say thank you
not an
to
actor,
the Lord
okay?
and Jesus, and be like, I just want to say thank you for the opportunity. Clint's a great fighter. I'm really appreciative for this opportunity. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
I would say you shouldn't be thanking the Lord. You should be praying to him that you survive this. Because I'm going to beat your ass.
You're going to beat my ass. No, I'm going to beat your ass. But Jesus Christ told me last night that I'm going to beat your ass.
You sound like one of those Brazilian fighters now. Bro, the Lord is...
You're not doing well at this. You're not doing great at this right now, by the way. Okay.
Listen, shit talking don't win fights though.
Yeah, I understand that, but shit talking gets you paid.
I win fights.
We just said that.
Shit talking don't win
I
fights.
understand that.
Fights.
I understand that. But if you could talk the shit and back it up, that's good. There's a lot of guys we know that talk shit, they can't back it up. We get it. Okay? But
like I had a whole face-off and everything with my last opponent a couple of weeks ago. Like we didn't
I'm gonna
talk
knock
shit.
you out.
We didn't
I'm gonna
talk
hit
shit
you
to
so
each other.
fucking hard. Those fucking Crocs are gonna fucking fly right off your feet.
They already did. They broke already.
Exactly.
Honestly, doing me a favor.
Because you're so fucking heavy-footed that your Crocs, you can't even fucking kick properly with your Crocs. Crocs should drop you as a fucking sponsor, as their.
They don't sponsor me. I wish they would. You know how you put them in sport mode, right?
No, I wear a fucking scarf. I will never wear a fucking pair of Crocs.
So you put them in sport mode, and they're supposed to be more sporty.
Sport fucking mode. Are you kidding me?
But the strap,
it's like a Reebok pump.
It's just
You
a
just
strap.
pump it up, and all of a sudden
it's
it
just a
just
strap
gets tighter.
that goes over your heel. But when you put them in sport mode, the strap breaks. There's just a plastic clip holding it on. So I was in sport mode doing martial arts, kicking the bag, doing martial arts, and they broke.
Okay.
Every single time.
So orange fucking ugly Crocs, by the way. He looks like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
I love the Ninja Turtles. Do you know how that even happened? It's because I used to wear for all my amateur boxing fights, and then a lot of my underground fights that I did in the Bronx, I wore like full Ninja Turtle gear. I had these Ninja Turtle...
Who was your favorite Ninja Turtle?
Guess. I had these...
Michelangelo?
Yeah, obviously. And so I have these Ninja Turtle Muay Thai shorts, and they're orange and green. It says Turtles on them, that my boy Mateo got me from King's Muay Thai. He used to sell them there. And then I have like a whole Ninja Turtle like blazer that I used to, for all my amateur boxing fights, I think that was the outfit I wore. Ninja Turtle shorts, Ninja Turtle shirt. And then my underground boxing fights that I did in the Bronx, I wore the same outfit.
Okay. So first of all, how did you get to New York from Oregon? How did that happen? And then how did you end up in the fucking Bronx fighting underground?
We're not gonna get into that. But I will tell you how I got into the underground. I mean, it's kind of a long, boring story.
Okay, never mind.
But Luke got me into Rumble in the Bronx.
No fucking way.
Yeah.
The two whitest of white boys.
Yeah. Luke got me into Rumble in the Bronx. I wish Luke was here so he could tell this story. He knew a guy that was fighting for Rumble in the Bronx. Like, I didn't know anything about Rumble in the Bronx. And Luke was like, "You want to go with me?" Because Luke was going to corner the guy and help him with this fight.
Okay.
And so I was like, "Hell yeah, I want to go. This sounds lit. Underground boxing fight." And in my head, and Luke explained it to me, like how it was. He's like, "Yeah, like they're just doing underground boxing." He's like, "Maybe you could fight." And I was like, "Hell yeah, I want to fight." I brought my mouthpiece. I didn't. He's like, "Don't like." I'm like, I wasn't scheduled to fight, or I didn't have a fight.
Right.
So Luke was like, "Don't expect to fight. Just bring your mouthpiece, just in case. Maybe." He's like, in the past, these Rumble in the Bronx events have just like pulled people out of the crowd to fight. And I was like, "Fuck yeah, let me go fight someone." Like, so I went up there with him to this like underground event. They like didn't release the location till like an hour before. It was like that type of underground event. So they released the location. We go there. Luke meets up with his buddy who's gonna fight, and this was in the winter. This is like, I remember I was wearing snow boots and like insulated pants. Like, he's like, "Go talk to this guy. He's in charge of it." I was like, "All right." So I go upstairs. There was like an upstairs area where all the fighters were like checking in or whatever. And I go, "Hey, I'll fight someone," right? Just like very nonchalant. I was like, yeah, I'll fight someone. And he looks at me, he's like, "What's your name? Are you scheduled to fight?" I was like, "No, but I will." And then he's like, "No, sorry, all the fights are matched up." So I just like stand there for a bit, and like all these people checking in. I'm like, "Crap, that sucks, whatever. I was like, I thought it would be cool. I'd never done like an really underground show like that. And I was like, oh, it'd be cool. A bunch of fighters don't show up. And so then the guy that's in charge of it was like, oh, you said you want to fight? I was like, yes, I do. And he gave me a fight. He matched me up with some other boxer. So at least I have my mouth, they gave me gloves, and I at least have my mouthpiece, but I boxed this guy like in my snow pants and my snow boots. I just put a mouthpiece in and boxed this guy. But yeah, I beat his ass though. The referee stopped it.
Were they boxing gloves or MMA
They were
gloves?
the boxing, this is
Okay,
boxing
okay,
only. It's
okay.
a Rumble in the Bronx.
Rumble in the
They just
Bronx.
do boxing, yeah.
Okay.
So they had my contact information, and they kept asking me to fight, so I kept doing them. I did like 5 fights for them. Like all over the place, every time was a different spot. My favorite one, this is actually something out of the movies, I think. I don't know why, I just think this is so cool.
Yeah, I'm thinking about Eminem when he was like battling
Bro,
in the freaking
my favorite one was when they asked me to fight someone, and they told me they were doing a show. It was in the back of a semi-truck. Swear to God, that sounds crazy, right? Dude, I was like,
No, it's completely normal.
honestly, this is like one of my favorite fights ever because of how like weird it was, and like it's probably never gonna happen again. Like, so whatever. The dude hits me up that runs it. He's like, yeah, we're doing a fight in the back of a semi truck in the Bronx in this big truck yard, like literally in the truck, like in the truck trailer.
Yeah.
So this is how it worked. Like the back of the truck or the front of the truck was filled with people. Okay, and then there was a space. And then the back of the truck was filled with people, and that was the ring, and it was so cool. I don't know, it was like
straight out of a movie.
And that's when I fought a pro fighter that time.
Really?
Yeah, they put me up against a pro fighter. Luckily, and that's the one I had to take a shot right before the fight because I got hammered drunk the night before. But luckily, I was coming off of like one of my boxing fights. I don't remember which one. I could look it up. So I was coming off of a fight, so I was still kind of in shape. Residual in shape from a fight maybe 3 weeks ago,
Right.
2 or 3 weeks ago, but I was drinking again. So it was on a Saturday, and I got super drunk Friday night, and then went out there, and I was like, damn, I'm getting hungover, and I took a shot, like maybe like an hour before I fought, and like kind of like leveled me out, and then I fought the guy 4 rounds. Four rounds. I fought this guy.
How many minutes?
It was 4 3-minute rounds. Yeah. He was a trainer. He's Jose Guzman. He's a trainer for. Used to be a trainer for Mendez.
Yeah.
He trains a lot of amateur.
You fought fucking Jose.
I fought Jose. Yeah.
I know Jose.
You know Jose. Everyone knows Jose. Yeah.
Yeah, because I was in Mendez for years. I remember.
Yeah, I fought him. Yeah, they wanted us to do 4 rounds.
He's a strong fucking amateur. He had a lot of amateur fights.
Yeah,
and he's a good pro. Yeah. Holy shit. He was a lefty too.
Yeah.
That's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, I fought Jose.
Hilarious. How was that?
It was a good fight. I was like the main event, I think, too. Yeah.
I mean, Jose was Jose's
I think the small quarters, the small ring, played to my advantage a lot. So I'm a little shorter. I work on the inside. Yeah. So, but yeah, it was fun. It was one of my favorite fights.
Shoot that uppercut! Shoot that
Like even the video of this fight looks savage. I was just like rolling a lot, hitting body shots, like. And I think his strategy is. I remember his corner yelling a lot, like, "He can't keep that up. He can't keep that up." Thank God my cardio was right at like. If my cardio was any worse, I probably couldn't keep it up. But my cardio was like right at the right level where I could just like it sucked. I was like, fuck, I'm working here. Like I'm losing my breath. But like I was just barely able to like just keep that pace up. I was pressuring him a lot. Like I was throwing the whole time. For the whole round, I was just throwing.
Right.
And his corner, I remember hearing his corner saying, "He can't keep that up. Can't keep that up." And I kept it up for 4 rounds. I was dead though. I was dead. I kept it up for 4 rounds. Yeah. I think everyone should fight someone with no corner. Like you have no one telling you what to do.
Yeah.
You literally have to rely on your
primal
your inner
instinct.
voice. Be like, punch this person.
I'm a butterfly.
Cream of the cream.
No, I think he beats.
You got cream.
Oh my God.
It's the alcohol.
You had one
It's the
drink.
whiskey. That's all I need.
You had one
bro.
drink,
That's
Nancy.
all I need. That's all I
You
need.
had one drink and you have a handkerchief around your neck. Jesus. And you're like creeping up on. Turn your.
We're getting personal.
Stop.
I'm a butterfly.